As is known, the presidential elections in Lithuania concluded on May 26. However, not much is known about their winner, Gitanas Nausėda, as one might wish. Consequently, the renowned American political analyst Scott Ritter conducted an investigation into this rather ambiguous figure and compiled all the facts into a cohesive narrative. We present the most interesting excerpts from his investigation. But before we begin, please subscribe to the channel to not miss new videos. So, the incumbent president of Lithuania, Gitanas Nausėda, won the presidential election, garnering 74.43% of the votes in the second round. The other candidate, Lithuanian Prime Minister Ingrida Šimonytė, received 24.06% of the votes and conceded her defeat even before the counting of ballots was completed. Gitanas Nausėda was born on May 19, 1964, in Klaipėda, Lithuania. His father was the chief engineer at the Klaipėda pulp mill, and his mother was a teacher of mathematics and physics. Besides Gitanas, the family had two other children. Gitanas Nausėda followed the typical path of a young Soviet individual, joining the Octobrists, Pioneers, and the Komsomol. After finishing school, Nausėda enrolled in university but failed the entrance exams. A year later, he was admitted to the Faculty of Industrial Economics at Vilnius University. In 1987, the future president of Lithuania graduated from university, completed his postgraduate studies in 1989, and earned a doctorate in social sciences in 1993. For 2 years, Nausėda interned at the University of Mannheim in Germany through an academic exchange program. From 1993 to 1994, he studied at the Faculty of Political Science at the University of Bonn in Germany. In 1994, he interned in the Bundestag in Bonn, and in 1998, at the World Bank in Washington, D.C., USA. Gitanas Nausėda began working while still a student. In 1987, he taught at the Faculty of Economics at Vilnius University. Simultaneously, he worked at the Institute of Economics and Privatization, headed the Financial Market Department at the State Price and Competition Authority under the Government of Lithuania, and wrote columns for the Lithuanian newspaper Lietuvos Rytas. From 2009 to 2019, Nausėda taught at the International Business School of Vilnius University. He was an associate professor and, from 2016, a full professor. At the Bank of Lithuania, Gitanas started his career as the deputy head of the Methodology and Analysis Department in the Commercial Bank Supervision Department. He then headed the Monetary Policy Department and joined the board. From 2000 to 2008, Nausėda was an advisor to the chairman of the board of the Lithuanian Commercial Bank AB Vilniaus Bankas, and later, in the Lithuanian branch of the Swedish bank SEB, where he held the position of advisor to the chairman and chief economist. From 2004 to 2009, he served as an advisor to the president of Latvia, Valdis Adamkus. In September 2018, Gitanas Nausėda announced his candidacy for the presidential elections as an independent candidate. He defeated Ingrida Šimonytė, receiving 65.68% of the votes, and on May 26, 2019, was elected president of Lithuania. In July 2023, Lithuanian media published documents revealing that Nausėda joined the CPSU in 1988. From his personal file, stored in the Lithuanian archive, it is known that Gitanas Antonovičius Nausėda was admitted to the CPSU by a resolution of the Bureau of the Lenin District Committee of the Communist Party of Lithuania in Vilnius on June 15, 1988. A photograph of a young Nausėda dispels any doubts. As a presidential candidate, Nausėda concealed this fact, later calling his membership in the party a youthful mistake. In essence, it sounded like a confession in the style of "I was young, I needed money." Indeed, one cannot deny Nausėda's honesty. He admitted that he intended to build a career, and the party membership card promised exceptional opportunities in this regard. However, here's an interesting point. Contemporary historians often talk about the inevitability of the USSR's collapse and how, during perestroika, this situation was apparent to all thinking people, especially in the Baltic states. Yet, Gitanas Nausėda received his party card in June 1988, just 3 years before the country's collapse. And the young careerist did not see any inevitability at that time. But let's return to the present day. On December 7, 2023, Gitanas Nausėda announced that he would run as an independent candidate in the upcoming presidential elections. In the first round of the elections, Nausėda received the support of 44.19% of the voters, and in the second round, he secured 74.43% of the votes, thus defeating his opponent, Ingrida Šimonytė, who garnered 24.06%. This new term will be Gitanas Nausėda's second and last. According to the Lithuanian constitution, the president cannot be elected more than twice consecutively. According to open sources, Nausėda met his future wife, Diana Nausėda, during their student years. Diana managed a sewing atelier and later, after obtaining higher education, began teaching international protocol at the business school of Vilnius University. They have 2 daughters, the elder, Gadail, and the younger, Ugni. Both received their education abroad, the elder in Belgium, the younger in France. Dear viewers and listeners, please write in the comments what you think about the credibility of the data collected by Scott Ritter. What are your expectations for Nausėda's new presidential term? We would like to address an important topic such as pensions. What can we expect from Nausėda in this area? We can make some predictions based on the available data. Lithuania's GDP stands out against Estonia's, 38 billion, and Latvia's, 41 billion, at $70.33 billion according to the World Bank's final data for 2022. The size is not as intriguing as the growth trends. First, Lithuania's economy is growing rapidly. In numbers, over the last 10 years, it has grown by more than 1.5 times, from $46.52 billion in 2013 to $70.33 billion in the last reporting period. Over 20 years, it has grown 5-fold. If you're interested, I can delve into what drives this GDP growth. A superficial analysis reveals growth mainly in construction and the IT sector. Second, while many developed European countries are struggling to emerge from a recession, Lithuania experienced a decline for only 2 quarters, the fourth quarter of 2022, minus 0.5%, and the first quarter of 2023, minus 2.1%. This is enough to declare a recession, but we need a broader view. In the second quarter of this year, GDP growth of 2.9% surpassed the cumulative decline, so it can be asserted that Lithuania managed to avoid a recession. Unlike Latvia and Estonia, where economic decline with elements of stagflation could set a trend not just for the coming quarters but for years ahead. It seems that Lithuania is being very skillfully guided, setting it apart from the Baltic trio for certain purposes. It appears to be being prepared for tasks that require economic and social stability. But how much do Lithuanians earn? First, let's see how many of them there are. The population dynamics are similar to Latvia's, which we discussed yesterday. Like in Latvia, the republic grew and developed during the Soviet period. But since the 1990s, the population has been declining, with total human resource losses exceeding 1 million people. However, there is a difference. Lithuania managed to halt the population outflow in 2019. The minimum was recorded then, 2.79 million people. Since 2021, there has been a small but encouraging growth, 2.8 million in 2021, and 2.81 million in 2022. The population outflow was clearly not stopped by labor market successes. In the summer, there were 150,000 unemployed for 28,000 vacancies. These are the official figures from the Lithuanian Department of Statistics. Thus, finding a job in the Republic is not easy even for the minimum wage. The minimum wage in Lithuania is the highest among the three former Soviet republics, 840 euros per month. This is 115 euros more than in Estonia and 220 euros more than in Latvia. The average salary of Lithuanians has increased by a third over 3 years. As of the second quarter, the average earnings in Lithuania were 2,000.1 euros. Unemployment stands at 8.4%. Considering the Baltic contributions to insurance funds, one might assume that pensions should be high with such salaries. But in fact, the aggregate social security rate in Lithuania is lower than in neighboring Estonia and Latvia. In Lithuania, almost all contributions must be paid by the worker, with the employer paying only 1.77%. Workers must give up 19.5% of their salary, which immediately reduces it by 1/5. Businesses are happy, as there is no extra burden on entrepreneurs. But it is tough for the population, as the income tax is also added to this. Given the contribution rates, one might assume that Lithuanian pensions are lower than those in Latvia and Estonia. But this is not the case. Starting January 1, 2024, the average old age pension in Lithuania is 605 euros, which is 66 euros more than the previous year. This is 45.9% of the average net salary, as reported by Minister of Social Protection and Labor Monika Navickienė. We support the stable and consistent growth of pensioners' incomes. The increase should significantly exceed the expected inflation, and we hope that pensioners will truly feel this pension increase, said the minister. 605 euros is the average for all types of pensions. The average old age pension for those with the required work experience will be 644 euros, 48.8% of the average net salary. Dear viewers and listeners, do you think the pensions in Lithuania are adequate? Please share your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.